Good evening. I'm going to go over some details of the event that occurred here tonight. It all started about 6 p.m. Deputies were dispatched to Dell Roads to a family disturbance. And for those of y'all familiar, you know family disturbances are one of the most deadly and dangerous events that law enforcement officers handle. So they arrived at the house and they met Mom in the front yard. She said there was a disturbance here. I came home, I asked my oldest son if he would help me move a car to the backyard. He became angry, but he agreed. So I got into the car, I couldn't get it into neutral, and he just went mad, just very angry, ran to his room and closed the door. She went to the door and said, I can't take this anymore, you're going to have to leave. And she got to thinking about it because he was so angry. She said, well, I need to call the sheriff's office. She was told to wait in the front yard. Deputies arrived a few minutes later, 2 deputies. They met her. She said he's in the room with the door locked. He has a gun, but he's not pointed at or displayed it. It's just in the room. So the deputies went into the house to talk to our suspect, which is John Pachurik. John's 53 years old. While they're in the house searching for John Pachurik, they hear gunshots in the front yard. The deputies immediately run out of the house into the front yard, and there is John Pachurik wrestling and fighting with his brother, Theodore Pachurik. They see that John's holding a gun. The deputies with their guns drawn tell John and Theodore to break it up. Theodore's more than happy to end that fight, and he jumps up. When John jumps up, he points his gun at one of our deputies. And when he does that, it's the last thing he does. Our deputies shot him, and he was deceased on the ground. Here's what they determined. The gunshots they heard was when Theodore Pachurik saw his brother with a gun in each hand. He walked past, Theodore said, John walked past him and said, I'm going to kill Mom. So Theodore said he bear hugged John, who started shooting. Mom, who's 75 years old, Marjorie Pachurik, was shot in each leg. She was hit at least 2 times by apparently 2 separate bullets. So 75-year-old Mom's shot down. Deputies, when they rushed out, they didn't even see Mom lying to the side. They were focused on the fight on the ground with John holding the guns, and the rest is history. This investigation is underway. These details are very preliminary, as you can imagine. We will provide further details throughout the evening. The State Attorney's Office, which does an independent investigation, is on scene, as well as our administrative investigative team, our crime scene team, medical examiner's been notified. But I can assure you of one thing. From all the information we know at this point in time in the investigation, and that has been confirmed not only by our 2 deputies we preliminarily talked to, but also Theodore Pachurik, the deputies did exactly what they were trained to do in order to save their lives and ultimately to save Theodore Pachurik's life and Mom. I suppose he would have kept shooting if it weren't for Theodore, who saved his mom's life as well. Horrible event out here tonight, but at the end of the day, it appears that Mom's in stable condition at Lakeland Regional Health Center, and she should make a recovery according to the information we're given now. Any questions?
Sure. Was this guy known about
We have not done complete background investigations, but we don't have any indications at this moment in time of drugs or alcohol. He had a criminal arrest back in the 90s. But he, as well as his brother Theodore, John and Theodore, both live here with their 75-year-old mother. Once again, when this quiets down, the adrenaline leaves, we'll get further details. But at this point in the investigation, it was a situation where deputies responded to help. And while they were in the house searching for John, he obviously had snuck out of the back door, hopped the chain link fence with 2 guns and intended to kill his mother. Theodore saved her life, and the deputies saved Theodore's life and their life.
And you said this started because he was upset.
He got mad at Mom when Mom asked him if he would help move a car to the backyard that apparently was disabled. And then when Mom went out and she couldn't get the car into neutral, she said he just flashed and he was just immediately angry and ran to his bedroom where he locked the door. She told him, "I can't put up with this anymore. You're going to have to leave." And she got to thinking about it. She thought, well, I need to call the sheriff's office. He's very angry. When deputies arrived, they talked to her in the front yard. They went in the house looking for John to talk to him, knowing he had a gun in his room, but he had not displayed a gun up to that point at all. And when they went in the house and they were searching for John, immediately they heard gunshots. And when the gunshots occurred, they ran outside, found Theodore on the ground fighting with John and John holding a gun. They told him, "Get up, break up, drop the guns." John pointed the gun at the deputies, and that's the last thing he did. We're brand new into this. We don't have any details at all. But I can assure you that once we obtain those details, we'll release them to the community.
And he had 2 weapons? John?
Theodore told us when he came around the house, he had a gun in each hand. And he said, as he walked past Theodore, "I'm going to kill Mom." And that's when Theodore bear hugged him. And he started shooting and shot Mom in both legs.
What's your reaction knowing that it started from, hey, move the car and ended like this?
Once again, you know there's got to be other issues, and we hope to be able to dig them out in the investigation. People don't normally act like that. People don't normally point guns at law enforcement officers. But once again, John Pachurik learned the hard way. If you point a gun at one of my deputies, we're going to shoot you. And that's what happened tonight. They protected themselves. They saved Theodore's life after Theodore saved his mom's life. PACUICRK. Yeah, PACUICRK.
Are the deputies on leave? What's
The
their
deputies
status?
will go through a normal protocol of administrative leave while the initial investigation occurs. And
Is that
hold on a
paid,
second.
unpaid? Oh, you're fine.
I have their names here for you. Obviously, it's paid leave. It's paid administrative leave during the initial phases of the investigations. They'll also be offered what we call distress counseling. There is a set protocol when you're involved in an incredibly violent situation where you are milliseconds from losing your life, and they were tonight. If they hadn't have reacted appropriately and as quickly as they did, the deputies are Deputy Sheriff Lee Smith and Deputy Sheriff Bernardo DeValle.
Yeah,
DELVALLE.
what's their experience level combined, you know?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Any other information?
Very thorough as always.
Y'all know what I know. We'll give you more details later on this evening, okay? Or
An independent investigation now underway into a deadly shooting of a suspect by a deputy in Polk County. A woman called deputies to her home near Saddle Creek and Comby Road in Lakeland yesterday evening. When deputies arrived, they say 53-year-old John Pachuruk shot his mother in both of her legs. Deputies say John then pointed a gun at them, so they opened fire, killing him. Two witnesses who saw the incident say they were scared.
Well, she was almost in tears.
I did. I grabbed her like this,
She
and I was
was
like,
almost
"Oh
in
my
tears.
gosh!" Because the shots were just, you know.
It was loud, like it was, and it's that close, especially when you see cops involved.
Yeah.
And then you hear gunshots.
And you hear that, you know it's not good.
The two deputies involved were not hurt. They're both on administrative leave pending the results of an investigation. The woman who was shot is listed in stable condition.
Lakeland, Florida. The Polk County Sheriff's Office is currently investigating a deputy-involved shooting that left one dead. The shooting occurred at a residence on Delrose Drive North in Lakeland around 6 p.m., according to officials. Two deputies were involved and they are not injured. The suspect is dead. A 75-year-old mother called 911 saying she wanted to get her adult son out of the house and a dispatcher told her to walk outside and wait for deputies to arrive. When deputies arrived on scene, they found the mother in the front yard. She told deputies that she had asked her son, John Pachuruk, to help push her car into the backyard. She said that he got angry but did say he would help. He struggled to get the car to move and became very angry and went inside. The mother followed her son into the home and went to his bedroom but the door was locked. She told them that she wanted him to leave. She then called Polk County Sheriff's Office since he was refusing to talk to her and since he was so angry. The mother told deputies that Pachuruk had a gun in his room. Deputies went inside of the house to find and talk to Pachuruk. While in the house, they heard gunshots in the front yard. Deputies found John and his 51-year-old brother Theodore rolling around on the ground, fighting. Deputies saw one of the men had a gun in his hand and they told him to drop the weapon. Theodore, who was not armed, jumped up and John jumped up and pointed the gun at the responding deputy. Both deputies, Deputy Lee Smith and Deputy Bernardo Del Valle, shot John and he was struck several times. EMS responded to the scene as deputies were performing life-saving measures on John. He was pronounced dead on the scene. Deputies found the mother in a car in the front yard with 2 gunshot wounds, one in each lower leg. She was transported to the hospital where she remains in stable condition. Deputies interviewed the brother, Theodore, who told police John was walking around the front yard with a gun in each hand saying, "I'm going to kill her." Theodore tried to stop John by grabbing him and holding him in a bear hug position. At the same time, John shot their mother multiple times. That's when the scuffle started and they ended up on the ground, fighting. The Polk County Sheriff's Office says John had a previous DUI arrest in South Carolina in 1986, and his Florida driver's license was revoked based on that arrest. The deputies involved were both hired in January of 2015 and are both assigned to Southwest District Patrol. Both deputies have been placed on paid administrative leave. There are 4 independent investigations ongoing at this time. A death investigation, a PSOA administrative investigation, an investigation by the State Attorney's Office, and a medical examiner's office examination. Copyright 2016 Scripps Media, Incorporated. All rights reserved. This material may not be published, broadcast, rewritten, or